So, how long does a desert rose seed take to germinate? Well, you'll see in a previous video we've done how we germinate them, and using our process, we usually see some sort of sign of germination within 24 to 48 hours after planting them. Now, usually that's just the tip of a root or the seed being pushed up through the soil. It's not a leaf or anything. But within a couple of days, we usually do start to see the leaves and the green trunks come out. It's not always the case, and some seeds take longer. Throughout the whole week, seeds will be taking their time and coming up. But usually the majority of our seeds are up within a week. However, as I'm going to show you today, certain factors will stop certain seeds coming up. And with the desert rose seeds, a little bit of time, usually the stragglers will come up. So I want to show you that today. Also, reasons why your desert rose seeds might not be germinating. The number one reason your seeds won't germinate is if they are not fresh seeds. Desert rose seeds need to be very, very fresh to germinate. You can tell if a seed is fresh because it will be quite plump, like the ones we're going to show you today. Having bought some seeds off eBay and them come through really dried up and sort of screwed up, they look really sort of like there's nothing inside them, like they're flat. That's not a fresh seed, and you might get germination if you're lucky, but that plant might not go on to survive the first week of germination. The colour should be a light brown colour, and they should, when you put them into a soak for the first 24 hours, they should plump up a little bit and their colour should go a little bit darker. If you are not using fresh seed, you're not going to get results like we're showing you today. The second top reason for your seeds not germinating would be that your soil's too wet. Again, follow the germination video and you'll see that when we put them in a Ziploc bag to start germination. You don't need extra water while they're in that Ziploc bag. Once the seedlings are up and looking towards the light, then take them out of the bag and follow our watering guide, which is a different video we've done. Overwatering seed will cause it to rot on the inside for desert rose plants because they are a succulent and they live in the desert. They store water in their stems. They are not used to conditions where the soil is too wet. So the best thing you can do is err on the side of caution. We've also had seeds that have dried out in the soil and watered them and they've started germinating. So it's never too late to give up on your seeds. The other top tip I'm going to give you today for germination is light. They love light desert rose seeds. If you've got them in the dark or somewhere that's not getting a good 8 to 10 hours of light, they're not going to germinate. So keep them in a nice, bright, warm window. I want to show you this tray. These are all purple desert rose seedlings. They are all planted at exactly the same time. Now, when you plant desert rose seedlings, you always get some that have ginormous trunks and some that are really small. And that doesn't mean that one plant's healthier than the others. Some of the small ones grow up and they're fantastic, or they're different colours, whatever. You can see we've got here a little green one, and yet all these are purple desert rose seeds. So you get a lot of variation because when you breed desert roses, you get traits from both parent plants. So they're never exactly the same as the parent plants, but they carry a lot of those traits. So if you're pairing two purples, you're likely to get a lot of purples, which is what this tray is. Now, all these were planted at the same time, and if you have a look here, we've got one that's just sprouted here, and this is about 4 weeks ago, and another one that's just sprouted here. And these are smaller than the bigger ones that came up. Obviously, the ones that came up first were very, very strong, very, very big seeds, big trunks, and there's another little one over here. So, you know, when we say most of our desert roses come up within a couple of days, they do. They come up really, really quickly. But if you don't get any success, just hold on. Don't overwater them. They hate too much water. Don't overwater them and just hold on. 4 weeks later, you might be getting little baby ones come up. And what's interesting as well is this tray, it was kept inside in a bag as we advertise in our other videos on how to germinate these. nice humid. When all these big ones came up, we then took the bag off and we put it outside in our greenhouse, which is where our desert roses are in the summer. And all these little ones have sprung up well outside. So it's not been the heat that's germinated these, it's been the time that's germinated these. They just need that bit of extra time. So don't give up on your desert roses, and whatever you do, don't overwater them. Don't leave them dry. You can see the soil it's damp to touch. It's not soaking wet and it's not dried out. It's just dampish. And that's how they like it. They don't like their roots to be swimming in water, but they do need watering as soon as that soil has gone really dry. So my tip is, if your seeds are not germinating, give them time. Make sure that your soil is not too damp. Start them off as we advise in the Ziploc bags, and then give them time. They like, more of anything, they like light, a lot of light. So being outside in the greenhouse does help some of those slower seeds to germinate. They love the light, but don't give up on them. And also, you know, I've had people say to me, all my seeds were floating, so that's why they didn't germinate, and things like that. And we've had floating seeds and they've germinated, and we've also had seeds that look like they're broken in half and they've germinated. Always give your seeds a go, even if they don't look great. It's just amazing what Mother Nature will actually do. As one last thing, I want to show you the difference in some of the sizes. These are some of the seeds. I call these our giant mix. They're not actually referred to as a giant by the supplier, but we call them our giant mix because, well, you'll see in a second, the seedlings come up with these massive trunks. They're absolutely huge. And they are a mixed colour, so we never know what colour they're going to get. But the seedlings are so healthy. We use this as our standard mixed seed for people, and we actually grow a lot of these ourselves. I'm just going to show you what our seeds look like when they come in from a supplier with specific coloured names, so you know what colour they're going to be. I'll show you the difference in size there. This one here is a specific plant seed. It's called Bright and Beautiful. It's quite a lovely colour, and this has come in and it's been specifically cultivated from the parent plants to get a beautiful known colour. This one over here is grown as mixed colours, so we don't know what they are, but you can see, if I turn the camera around, the difference in size between the two. It doesn't mean these guys don't grow very well. In fact, we put them in, they grow up nice, and they've got their second set of leaves a lot quicker than these guys. But these guys come up absolutely huge, and you never know what you're going to get, so it's kind of nice actually. But that just shows you the difference in some of the seeds. My point is, never just make assumptions. Don't make assumptions that after 4 weeks you're not going to get any seeds up from these guys, as this tray is proving. And don't make assumptions because a seed looks very thin or small. I mean, there's one here I can see right now, it's like a half size here. Tiny, and some of these are really long. Don't make assumptions that seed won't grow, because you never know what's going to happen. And some seeds just take that bit of time longer. So that's my top tip on growing desert rose seeds.